Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Yes, it depends on where you are, right?
Right.
But welcome to Jigsaw Parenting, where we, parents from various backgrounds, get a chance to talk to you all about what's going on with our kids and how is it going with us. I'm Sumitra Single, and today I have with me
Stephen Bax.
and
Sissy Van Vark.
and today's topic is it's a hot topic, I say, not just because it recently happened, but I think it's always been an issue. It's one of those topics that don't bring it up. You know when you get together that you don't want to be the person to bring it up. But most recently here in the US, in Texas, a law has been passed making abortion illegal. And it's not just illegal, there are lots of little caveats around it. And we're going back to a time of basically fighting Roe versus Wade. The other big issue isn't that it's just about are abortions illegal, but that means even if a woman or a young lady or a young girl has been raped or molested, it's still illegal. So you guys can imagine this is like a really sensitive subject. And I, being a woman, I don't want anybody telling me what I can do at any time with anything and any parts on my body. Why? I have been pregnant. I have had kids. I know what it's like to carry a child, to give birth to a child, birth to children. And as much as my husband obviously was involved in the process, uh, of course, right? It takes two to tango. And he was there for all of the births. He does not know what it's like to carry a child and what that's like. And so no one, including me, could ever tell me what would be the right thing to do. Oh, don't get me wrong. We can sit down and discuss it, right? Because we are a family unit, we are partners, but it's my body and I get to make the decision. No questions about it, hands down. Now, I definitely believe you have to be responsible. I don't feel like abortion is a form of birth control in the least bit, okay? If you know what you're going to do and you're going to do something, you need to be smart about what you're doing and make adult decisions, make grown up decisions about whatever you're doing. Even if you're a young teenager, if you are sexually active, you need to make adult decisions because having sex is an adult type act.
Yes.
However, it's still my decision. Sissy, I'm going to hand this over to you since you're the other female here, and I want to hear what you have to say.
Well, I couldn't agree more. It's definitely my body. It's something I'm deciding to do because whatever comes out, I'm going to have to live with it. So if I decide I wanted an abortion, it's something I'll have to physically, mentally live with.
Yes.
And if I have this child, it's going to be for always connected to me. It's not up to anyone to decide, no, you should have it because it has a heartbeat. No, it's really my decision because whatever happens after, it's connected to me. So it's not like I'm saying it's not birth control. Absolutely not. It's an adult decision to make. It's not changing your hairstyle like kind of like that because that's my decision too. Come on, I'm a woman.
Right.
I want to decide what I wear, what I do. But this is really life altering. So no one's supposed to tell me that you should have it or you're not supposed to have it. It's really something you have to be really careful about thinking what you're going to do. And once you make the decision, it's going to stick with you forever. So it's not up to anyone else to make the decision except for yourself. That's how I look at it. And I
And you
think
know
a
what?
lot of women do.
Let me say this. You're right, Sissy. It's your decision and you have to live with it either way, whether you have the child or you don't have the child. It is
Yeah.
something that, like you said, it's not just physical, it's mental, it's emotional. There's so many factors.
Yeah.
So I totally agree with you. Now, Stephen, we're going to bring this male point of view in here and hear what your
Okay.
thoughts are.
I do want to put one little caveat. It's not illegal to have an abortion. It's just illegal in Texas. It's illegal when they have a heartbeat, which is about 6 weeks. The thing is, you don't always know you're pregnant at that point in time, and that's a major problem. I also want to say being pro-choice doesn't mean being pro-abortion. That needs to be stated. That doesn't mean hey, you should all get one. It's not like that. I am a father. I like to think I'm more than just a donor. Uh, and,
Listen, Steven, I've seen you with your kids. You're definitely more than just a donor, for sure. Don't worry about that. You got my vote.
I'm not being defensive in that. I'm just, obviously my wife and I, my late wife and I, discussed having children and when we were going to have children, and she wanted 3 and I wanted to have 2, and I won. But and I know that she never would have had an abortion. That's not something in her wheelhouse. That's not something she would have done. That's a personal choice. Yes. And frankly, we can discuss it all day long, she and I, but I don't have to carry that kid around for 9 months.
Right.
I'll support her, I'll help her out, that sort of thing, but I don't have to carry it around. And it isn't it at that point in time. And I know that sounds horrible to some people. And then they'll start saying, well, what about late-term abortions? That's 1%.
Right.
Yes.
And that's usually when it has to do with the health of the mother or the child.
Yes, absolutely.
So, and I was raised Catholic, and so I get a lot of pushback in my family about this. I don't care. I stand by, it's her choice. It's her body. And, there are some that'll go even further than that, but it is her choice. That's the bottom line. And while I can have an opinion on it, I can make comments about it. In the end, she's got to make the decision.
Well, I will tell you this: you're very right in the fact that a lot of times women do not know they're even pregnant at 6 weeks. So in my head, I say abortion, and it includes anytime you're pregnant, because like I said, most times you don't even realize, because you probably aren't even keeping up when your cycle is coming, and you just know, hey, I haven't gotten that thing in a while. What's going on? No. And that's when you kind of realize something's off. And so it's most times it's well after the 6 weeks, well after this time period that Texas is giving. Now, I have 2 girls and a boy, and one of them is in college and one of them is in middle school. And I'll tell you, if one of my kids, and even for my son, let's say if he were to get a girl pregnant, that would definitely be something I would hope that they would come to me about and talk to me about, so I can help them with whatever decision that needs to be made. So hopefully I can enlighten them, let them know what the situation is, what reality is, so they can make the right decision. But for them, it still becomes their decision. It's still not my decision to make, because having carried children, I know what that's like. You know what? If I'm married and we're together and we could be sitting around watching TV, my husband doesn't know what it's like to have a baby's leg push out the side of your body. He may see it, but he doesn't know what that feels like, or, all the little nuances. And that's just a small thing. That's a really minute thing. But he doesn't know, and he can't feel, and all the emotions that's attached to it. So the same thing for my kids. If any of my girls were to come home and say, "Guess what, Mom, I'm pregnant," which I'm sure they wouldn't just blurt it out like that. They'll probably be scared out of their mind. Like, what is she going to say? But I've always been, you know what? Come talk to me. You may not like what I'm going to tell you, Yes. I don't expect that every time you bring me a scenario, I'm going to be like, oh, yes, honey, that's the best thing to do ever. I'm here to support you, but I'm also here to keep reality and let you understand what things are, because their worlds are only, 18 years or 16 years or 12 years old. So they haven't seen or heard or experienced as much as we do. So as parents, I feel like our job is to definitely give them the benefit of our perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I feel like they still have to make the decision because remember, that's going to be them raising those kids, not
Yeah.
me. I'll just be grandparent, which I don't even want to think about that right now.
No, 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 no.
Well, we had you and I have kids that went to school together,
Mhm.
and mine's starting college now too, and I worry about that. And we've had long talks about this. And but I told he understands ultimately it is not his decision. The little one, I've had discussions. He's in 7th grade, and believe it or not, that's not too soon to
You know what? You're so right.
happen. And a lot of parents, I think, assume that it isn't too soon. I have a family member, and I won't expose who she is, that did get pregnant in high school, and nobody knew, not even the parents, until she went into labor.
Wow.
She hit it.
Oh,
And she put the child up for adoption and changed her mind at the last minute. And that child grew up great, good kid. And again, I'm not going to expose who that family member is, but I've seen this happen very close to me. And it's not a difficult choice, but there's a lot of things in life that are difficult. And,
yes.
and in this case, it was up to her. It was not up to the father. The father ended up being a deadbeat anyway. And she went on to have a happy life and have children with another man who she married, and has
Yeah.
lived a great life ever since then. But would it suck? Yeah. To get pregnant at a young age, is it the end of the world? No.
Right.
But if you've got family support, that makes a big difference.
True. But there's a life after that. I mean,
There is a
it's
life
not
after
the
that,
end.
exactly.
It's not the end. It's sure it's difficult if you're still studying and you've got your future, your plans. You have to change everything around, but
Yes.
still
Right.
there's a life after it.
Yeah.
But it's ultimately her decision. She made
Absolutely.
it. She
Absolutely.
wanted a child, so it's great it turned out that way.
Well, I'm at the age, I'm 55 years old now, and I'm widowed. I'm not looking to have any more children. So there are things I can do myself to stop that, and I'm thinking about doing that very soon. Yeah, because we have a colleague at work who got married late, and he's a couple years younger than me, and he just found out that his wife is pregnant.
Ooh.
And
Okay.
you know who he is, Sumitra?
Yeah. I do. Now that you say that, I do.
Yeah. And he was counting down retirement in this many days and months and years. Yeah, he says I'm working forever now.
Yeah.
Because he'll be in his 70s when that kid graduates high school, in his 80s when the kid's in college.
And you know what the fact is? As we get older, we just don't have the energy that we used to have. When you're in your 20s and even in your 30s, your early 30s, you have a certain amount of energy. Now you sit around, maybe cook some food. You sit down and you're like, man, I'm tired. I need a nap. Or I'm
Exactly.
ready to go to bed already because your body just doesn't have you just don't, you can't pull those, when you were in college and you used to stay up all night because you didn't plan properly with the exams. Okay, it happens. We do it all the time. You pull the all-nighter and you pass that test, and then you still go out the next day like it's nothing. Now, if you know you're going to go out at night, I need to take a nap in the afternoon so I can actually have enough energy.
So you were studying all those nights you stayed up late.
Listen. I am going to plead the fifth.
Yeah.
There are different forms of studying, I'd like to say.
Yes, definitely.
There's things in the world that need to be studied. So,
I went to Florida State University and I lived in a fraternity house.
You partied. No, sir. You partied, okay?
A little bit. But I got my degrees.
Good. That's what counts. Get the degrees.
As soon as that should count because you're there to get your degrees. So then you can do anything you want as long as you get your degrees.
And I'm a history teacher and I've got stories.
That's good.
Stories I can't always share.
I have a daughter who's 20 years old.
Okay.
Which dropped out of college, and she had like a year doing kind of drugs and smoking pot, and which I was worried that one of these days she's gonna come home and tell me, Mom, you know what? I think I might be pregnant. So that's been a fear of mine, really, for a
Right.
long time. But she hasn't been pregnant. But I kept the let's say the always an open mind about anything. Like you, Sumitra, I want to talk to her about anything, even doing drugs, smoking pot, whatever happens, she can tell me. And the same as you, I won't be glad about anything she tells me, but I'll still be open and listen and keep the boundaries low so she can feel she can come to me and talk to me
Right.
about it. But now we're up to a point since, like you, Stephen, you're a widow, but I'm divorced. So now I've been trying out the dating scene, but that's the big thing for me with the energy. I'm like, listen, I like you, but I don't want kids. So if that's what
Yeah.
you got in mind, no, move on. So
Right. I
that's the
already
big thing.
I already have my kids, okay?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
done.
yeah,
I'm done.
I'm done. No, I'm not going through that again. I want the little time I have for myself. I really like that
I
time.
have the
Right.
rest of my life planned, and the way I have it planned now, it's alone. Uh,
Yeah.
that could change. Somebody wanted it to change recently, and I said I'm not ready for that, and I'm not seeing her
Mm,
anymore. I wasn't trying to be mean, and I was never dishonest with her, but I'm just not. I'm not ready to get tied down right now. I kind of
right.
like the life I'm living right now. I don't
Yeah.
like how I got here.
Of
Uh,
course.
if you know what I mean, but
No.
I had 20 great years, and right now I'm in a stage of my life that I'm going to be alone for a while, and I'm good with that. Besides, with a kid in college, a kid in middle school, coaching two sports, teaching all day,
You're busy.
I don't have
You don't have
time
time.
Or
You don't have
energy.
time.
or energy. Yeah, so yeah, I don't have the time for that. And she and I dated mostly in the summertime, and then towards the end of last year when all the coaching was over with. But right now, I am doing something every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't have the time to go out and try and romance and whatever else while raising the kids. And you
Right.
can't bring and I can't bring her home, because I don't want the kids to see a parade of women coming through. I don't need that sort of thing. And God forbid she gets pregnant.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
No.
true.
what do you tell your kids at this
Right.
age?
You
So
Yes.
it's funny because you don't even think about it, but even as an older adult,
yeah,
not in your 20s, you've got
Yeah.
to be responsible too when you're
Yeah.
dating
absolutely.
Well,
because what stops
that's
that
my
from
issue.
happening?
That's like
Well,
a big
teen
time.
pregnancy is
No
actually
kids,
way
no
down in
kids.
the U.S. Teen
Teen
pregnancy in the
pregnancy?
U.S. is way down right now.
I've heard, and not necessarily pregnancy, but I've just heard just about older um, people, and I'm not talking about 55, Stephen, at all. I'm talking about like older people, just I guess because they have a lot more free time on their
Mm.
hands and they're retired, and there's a lot more sex going on with that age group than ever before.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. They're living longer, being healthier, so
Hmm.
and if
they
it's a
got
May
more time on
December,
their hands.
if it's a May December romance, you know, we just had a president that was 26 years older than his wife.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
you.
Right.
I was joking with my students. They talk about their girlfriends or lack thereof. I said, "Who knows? Maybe she's not even born yet." I mean, it's kind of a joke with
Oh
that
my
because
God,
they were
that's
But
asking,
it's
scary. That
true.
is so
think about
scary
that.
to think about.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
But that's true.
yeah.
That is really true.
And I'm
Wow.
55 years old, and I've done the dating websites, and I get these women that are 40, and I'm like, no, I can't do that. That's too young,
Even
And
at
I get
this
lots of,
age, that feels too
yeah,
young.
40 years old is just too young for me.
Wow.
I need somebody close to my age. I like a little
Yeah.
younger than me, but late 40s, I'm good with that. But I think that's a good age bracket. But yeah, I don't want to be having any children anytime soon because at
No,
40, that's
No,
still those
no,
years. Uh,
no.
Pushing 50, a little less likely, but not impossible.
right, right. Well, I don't know what's going to happen in Texas down the road, and I'm definitely hoping that none of these other states are going to follow suit with this really
No.
dumb law. But I know we have to continue just to be mindful and keep educating our kids. So hopefully they don't end up in a situation where they have to even make that decision, you know?
Yes.
But anyway, I think this has been a great topic. It definitely has to be discussed with your kids, no matter how young they are. Like you said, Stephen, even in 7th grade, that's not too young to talk
No.
about it. It's better that we have conversations than they don't know, or they, walking around with blinders on.
I want to amend that real quick if I could.
Mhm.
I had a 9th grade student at the last school I taught at. She entered 9th grade. She was a mother of 2 children by 2 different fathers.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And she was an angry child. She never finished high school.
No.
So you see here, and I don't want to compare your family member to her, but I'm just going to kind of use that just because those two were brought up. But if you think about it, the situation with your family member luckily ended up working out.
Right.
Yeah.
Her situation sounds like it didn't go too well. So again,
it had a lot to do with family support.
Right. Definitely has to do with family support. So again, it still goes back to each woman, young girl, teenager, whomever, they need to make that decision for themselves. My opinion, it's my opinion, and I'm going to stand by my opinion.
Yes.
I agree.
Anyway, this was Jigsaw Parenting. I hope you guys have enjoyed our little debate today. This is Sumitra Single, and I had with me
Stephen Bax
and
Sissy Fensberg.
we'll see you guys next time here, okay? Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.